history about voting, right? And let me remind you about this one thing. All right, they saying that it became so-called law in the 1800s for us to have the right to vote. Mm-hmm. You know what happened in 1831? There was a guy by the name of Nate Turner. And I'm going to elaborate on him because it's a new movie out.
Yeah.
All right, The Birth of a Nation. The right to vote. We look, our people still learning how to read. Mm-hmm. Nate Turner rebelled against the system. He rose up. He found out who he was. He found out that in the Bible, it was talking about him. He was a Hebrew. Mm-hmm. He was the son of slaves, brought over here on slave ships. He found out that he really is a king by the Most High, and he rebelled. I'm not saying it was right. It's not right to take no one's life. But what will a dog do, even being cornered in the corner? A dog. He will defend himself. So the right to vote, technically, it started in the 1965, and it came proliferate, in the 70s. I was born in 1970. Not too many years off us because we didn't know, we wouldn't even participate in voting. Okay? All right. There's something called the popular vote and the electoral vote.
But I think it's important that we state that the right to vote was written in the Constitution that covered every American in 1870. It took, how many years is that? Close to 100 years. Close to 100 years of us fighting.
To go out and do it. Right? To go out and vote, right?
No, for them to even allow us to exercise our right to vote. It was already written in the Constitution. They didn't have to go and rewrite it. The people wouldn't allow us to do it until Lyndon B. Johnson aimed at overcoming legal barriers at the state and local level. I don't know what legal barriers they could be when the Constitution held that Americans should have the right to vote at 1870. They weren't allowing people of color. We were blocked, just like we were blocked from going to school, just like we were blocked from anything.
Exactly. And brothers, you can look at that through old films, through documentaries as of today. When our people would rally up to try to go out and vote, and guess who would meet you at the courthouse? You will see men in sheets over their heads.
Yep. So we saw that this week.
Yeah, you will see all kind of opposition against us, okay? So there's always been a fight for the Israelites. There's always been a fight for the Hebrews. Mm-hmm. Line up the characteristics with the people. That's what the Bible is about. The Bible is a history book. Mm-hmm. It's a prophecy book. And it's a future book. Amen. There's no ending to it. It's a living word. That's what it is. Today, our topic will be today now, brothers. Follow us now. The topic of our lesson today will be fables versus truth. Fables versus truth. Okay? All right? We're going into these last couple of months of this so-called year, according to the world identification, as the holidays, right? The holy, they should really be holy days, but they call them the holidays. I call them the unholy days.
And actually, we go by a Gregorian calendar where they have, placed all of the pagan holidays on it. So the Gregorian calendar, Gregorian is a Greek term, and it comes, historically from Greek, who we know coupled with the Catholics, the Roman Catholics. So anytime we hear Greek, we can always associate the two because they're when we look around at what we see as America, we see many of their artifacts and relics and shapes, and so we're mimicked behind and after them. Of course, British as well. But the Gregorian calendar really houses all of these so-called pagan holidays.
Okay. And let me be clear, brother. Let me bring this out. The Hebrews, they govern their life, their daily worship according to the Hebrew calendar, the Enoch calendar. That's the calendar that they're supposed to live by, that we were supposed to walk by. Mm-hmm. We had holidays associated with the book of Leviticus. The Most High gave us our own feast days. We call them feast days, but they're holy days for us.
Right.
Okay? So the Most High already established that for us. We didn't have this stuff out here. Right. We're going to touch on some of it, okay? And the Bible refuliates some of this stuff here. Everything I'm going to speak on today, technically, they're holy days, they're holidays, it's not in the Bible.
They don't have holy days.
Right, they don't have holy days.
Only the Most High days are holy.
Right, only the Most High days are holy, okay? The first thing we want to do is we want to get the definition of fable. So what I'm going to do is have the prophet go into your Zondervan Bible Dictionary, and prophet, let's go over some of the tools that we use here in the study hall. Let's go over some of the tools.
Okay, so I'll be reading from the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, and we use this quite a bit because in studying and keeping with the scriptures, we want to study line upon line and precept upon precept. So looking at the word fable, taken as it is defined in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, reads, a narrative in which animals and inanimate objects of nature are made to act and speak as if they were human beings.
Now, you get that, prophet, brothers and sisters, you get that? The biggest thing on TV that portrays fables is a company called what? Disney. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I like their animation things. They're cool. They're neat. But we got to distinguish truth from falsehood. The Most High wants us to walk in truth, right? And our children have to know what's right from wrong. They have to know what's falsehood and what's not falsehood. But Disney is a big promoter of fable. Mm-hmm. Read that one more time, Prophet. Read that over.
Fable, a narrative in which animals and inanimate objects are of nature are made to act and speak as if they were human beings. Mm. It says the word fable is not found in the Old Testament, but the Old Testament has two fables, and it can be found in Judges chapter 9, verse 7 through 15, and 2 Kings chapter 14, verse 9. And when we look at the definition and just not even looking at the scripture per se, and we will look at it, or you can look it up at a later time in your study session, I would say that they're more than likely speaking of when the animal spoke to Balaam. Mm-hmm. The animal was made to speak.
Right.
But I don't think that was a fable. He really was speaking. So I'm hard-pressed. I want to look and see what they're talking about to even say that something is a fable.
Okay.
But it says that the word fables is found in the King James Version as the translation of mythos, meaning myth.
Uh-huh.
So, you have to be careful when we're looking at this because we have to keep in mind who wrote the book.
Uh-huh.
So do they want to impute doubt and question and mystery at this point in this juncture, specifically behind this word, fable? Because the things that the Most High has shared and told us, we know them not to be fables.
Right.
And I don't even know how we could find a fable. So I'm going to look up those scriptures that they speak
of. Probably
later. I'm not looking now.
No, but right now we are going to go into the first fable, and this dictionary did mention it, so we're going to break that down.
Okay.
Let's go to Judges chapter 9. In your King James Version Bible, let's go to Judges chapter 9, and we're going to read verses 7 through 15. Now, the title of this so-called fable, it's a parable. That's what it is. It's Jotham's parable of the tree.
Oh, so basically not mythos. They gave mythos as a Greek word that they're giving us for an Old Testament. Topic, and really it should be parables because we're more familiar with what a parable is.
Right. We're more familiar with what a.
We're more familiar.
Yeah, we're more. Okay. All right. Now, when you get that, prophet, say Salaki. Let me know. Okay. And chapter 9.
All right, Judges chapter 9, verse 15?
Verse 7. We're going to read verse 7 through 15. Now, this is the first fable we're looking at today, okay?
All right. 7?
Yep. Now, fathers, brothers, and sisters, this is a parable. I want y'all to hear us out now. This is the parable of the trees.
So we're in Judges chapter 9, verse 7. Do you have a backstory to this, Elder?
Yeah, this is these trees here. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. The trees represent people. All right, so if you got that understanding, you're going to pick up on what's going on here. But Jotham is given a parable of the trees. Go ahead, Prophet.
All right. And when they told it to Jotham, he went and stood in the top of the Mount Gerizim and lifted up his voice and cried and said unto them, Hearken unto me, ye men of Shechem, that the Most High God may hearken unto you. The trees went forth on a time to anoint a king over them. Okay. And they said unto the olive tree, Reign thou over us. Verse 9. But the olive tree said unto them, Should I leave my fatness, wherewith by me they honor the Most High God and man, and go to be promoted over the trees?
Now, this is really a synopsis of what's going on with Israel at this time, okay? Israel is crying over not having a king over them. All right, this is the people. We really want a king over us. So Jotham is getting this parable. Read it, Prophet.
Verse 10, and the tree said to the fig tree, Come thou and reign over us.
Come thou and reign over us. What did the tree say to the fig?
The tree said to the fig tree, Come thou and reign over us. But the fig tree said unto them, Should I forsake my sweetness and my good fruit and go to be promoted over the trees? Verse 12, Then said the trees unto the vine, Come thou and reign over us.
They want anybody to reign over. They want the fig tree. They want the vine. And they, look, know your place, brothers and sisters. You got to know your place, okay? The Most High is our God. All right? YASHAYA is our king. All right? We're not supposed to be like the other nations that want a earthly king to reign over us. We don't need that. We know who leads us.
Yeah.
We walk in holiness. He establishes our holiness. He identifies our holiness. But this is a parable now. Remember now. Keep reading, Prophet.
Verse, where are we at?
You can go to 12 again.
Okay, 12. Then said the trees unto the vine, Come thou and reign over us. Verse 13. And the vine said unto them, Should I leave my wine, which cheereth the Most High God and man, and go to be promoted over the trees?
I don't want to be over no trees. And look, should I leave where I'm standing at? I'm in beautiness right now. I'm being surrounded with what I'm at. Should I leave and go and reign over y'all? What's going on?
Verse 14. Then said all the trees unto the bramble, Come thou and reign over us.
Anybody they can get, they want somebody to reign over them. And look, we don't get what we ask for, brothers and sisters. We got to understand that. Give us Trump. Here we go. Look. A president is a king over the people today. All right? Okay? Understand, you're going to get what you ask for. They asked for Trump. This man in the earth has no military experience, no government experience, not even a governor.
Not a lawyer.
How can he run the country on every level without having some kind of personal understanding on how to do that? Of course, he can surround himself with people that know how to do it.
Absolutely.
But ultimately, he makes a decision.
Well, in all honesty, Elder, even the ones who had that type of background that we're accustomed to, we always had presidents that they portrayed and presented to us, and they had a military background.
Right.
Or they were lawyers, or they served on as judges.
Right.
They had some sort of history dealing with legality.
Now, and I ain't mean keep going, Prophet. I'm gonna go agree with you on that. Keep going. And
even they were, once you become president, you have a cabinet.
Okay.
There are people who know how to do things, very well in that department. So that's neither here nor there.
Right.
But they needed to have some level of understanding to, alongside them, make some decisions.
Yeah.
I would think.
You're absolutely right. Name one president that's similar to Trump. And I'm
No, what? Bush?
I'm gonna give you one.
Oh, Bush, George Bush?
No, not George. George Bush.
He was a governor.
He was a governor.
Right.
He had some kind of training, so he has an idea.
Who that?
Why won't we?